This is our first time harvesting honey. I've got the smoker out and ready so that I can calm the bees down. I just propped the lid a little first, and then now I'm going to take it off. I'm just going to brush off the bees that are on there. That is all capped and ready to go. Just brushing off more bees. This hive I'll call nice because they're being very calm and good. There are 8 frames total in this top box. So I just have to brush off the bees on each one of those frames. And I'm going to remove that queen excluder and check the brood box and see how it's looking while I have the hive open. You have to use a tool to pry those apart because the bees really stick propolis in there to get it good and stuck. That's completely capped honey, but we're just going to brush the bees off the top, back in there, put the queen excluder back, and put the super honey box back on top and the lid. I have 2 hives. The first hive we worked in was nice, and this one is naughty. I named them naughty and nice because this hive is very aggressive, and I don't know if you'll be able to notice in the video, but they are going to start attacking me. They're hitting my veil, getting all over my clothes. They're trying to get down into my boots. I got stung through my glove, and I did not realize I was being stung at the time, but it definitely swelled later. Got to give them a little more smoke, and I've got my hive tool out to pry those frames apart so I can lift them out of there and do the process all over again, brushing all the bees off of each one of those frames. And then I have a tote with a lid so I can put them in the tote and put the lid on it right away to keep as many bees out as possible. When I disappear from the video, I have a tote and a wagon with a lid, and that's what I'm putting them in so I can wheel it back over to the garage to process the honey. And periodically I give them a little more smoke in between trying to get these frames brushed off, this hive especially, because as you can see, they're swarming all around me. They're hitting my jacket, they're hitting my veil, trying to get to my face. I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible to get out of this hive and get the lid back on. They're even trying to get down in my boots. The last time they succeeded and stung my foot, so I'm taking extra precautions. I'm going to put the cap back on and the lid and try to get out of this hive and get back to the garage as safely as possible. I got my bee suit off. They followed me all the way up to the garage, so now I'm going to take my knife and scrape all the cappings off of these frames where they have capped the honey, and that lets me know that it is ready to process. So I just go back and forth, shaving all that wax cappings off. Honey's running down with it too, so I'm trying to do it as quick as possible. This is my first time doing this, so I hope I get better as I go along. I've seen people do it where they just use that knife really smooth and get it off in one swoop. I'm definitely not that good at it. I'm using a little comb to pick out the wax that the knife didn't get so that I can put it in the honey extractor. And these frames are heavier than you would think. I'm just working through each frame, frame by frame, scraping off. Some were definitely easier to scrape off than others. Some were a little more difficult. Some people use electric fillet knives. I might end up trying that if I don't get better at the knife that I'm using now. And some of these frames look darker than the other, and it's mostly due to the plastic that's in the between there. Some of them are black and some of them are yellow. But that's all good honey underneath there. I'm just going to keep working. This one is a really difficult one to get loose. I'm having a hard time with the knife. I had to use the comb to get part of this one out. Those cappings would not come loose. I have 8 frames done, so they're going into the extractor, and then we start to get a flow of honey coming out. Now it's getting thicker, getting out more. We just keep it spinning, and then you have to reverse it. These are the wax cappings that I took out. And these are our honey buckets, and we got about 3/4 full. I almost made it through without getting stung again, but once I was cleaning up equipment, I got stung on my hand by a rogue bee. I ended up going to urgent care, and now I need to go see an allergist to see if I'm allergic to bees. I'm on antibiotics and prednisone, so hopefully I'll recover soon.